It's all kind of plug and play. I was telling you guys last night. The guy in Palm Beach who's renting in the Hamptons for the summer over Labor Day weekend has the same fucking problems. He's chomping at the bit to get a doctor to do a telehealth visit to get his kids' medical forms in for Palm Beach Day, just like the Greenwich dad in Nantucket is for fucking Brunswick, just like the Palisades dad is for John Thomas Dye. Like, it's all, everyone's got the same problem. The Palm Beach family, who are all about Goldens, their golden retriever Sconset took a shit on the G650ER on the way to the Yellowstone Club, just like the Greenwich family's Labradoodle took a piss on the carpet on the Citation flying to Sun Valley, Idaho. You know, like, it's all the same shit. Both families on opposite sides of the country are paying to have the fucking carpets of the plane shampooed. It's just, what kind of dog took the shit?
That was a clip from my very hilarious interview with Walker Ward, a.k.a. WalkSauce42_. I sat down with Walker recently in New York City. I was doing some open mics there, and I was with Jeremy Sisto, and Walker came up for an hour or so with his manager, Fran Serratore, and the four of us just shot the breeze, but it was so funny. We got into some really cool inside information about his origin story, about how this explosive growth on social media, how it works, how you start making money, what his inspiration is, all the different characters he plays. So if you haven't seen WalkSauce42 stuff yet, just pause right now, go watch a couple of his videos on his Instagram, and then come back. It's so good. I fell in love with him. I got to thank Medora Westcott for putting us in touch, and we hit it off beautifully. So credit where credit is due. The serendipity wheel of this podcast and social media in general is doing it right. And I got to meet and hang with this wonderfully talented, extremely funny man. He tells so many funny stories. He had us howling with laughter, but also a lot of deep insights into how this weird game works. And really, it was so cool because it was an origin story. It's his start, and he still is. He's only a year in, and so he's got this whole life ahead of him. He's early 30s, whole life ahead of him. And he used to be a banker, and now he's people are taking pictures with him on the sidewalk. It's a really cool, fascinating story. So buckle up. If this is your first time here, this is a podcast called Starting Stand Up. I'm David Walton, and it's really just I track my journey trying to get good at stand-up comedy. So it's behind-the-scenes stuff, some open mics, all my failures, and mostly I just talk about feces and sex. And we've got the word feces going, so we're staying on brand here already. Anyway, please enjoy, and I'll talk to you after the interview.
Oh man, that's rubbish! That's rubbish!
Netflix.
I want to say that throughout this interview, Sisto's not going to understand probably 50% of the terms.
You need a poor guy in the room, all right?
Exactly. Yeah, but we'll talk about horse country and your club and all that kind of thing. Don't worry, we'll get into it. I'm not worried.
Congratulations. I asked you last night when we first met face to face whether you were making some dough, and then you immediately were like, yeah. And I was so excited. I see all these influencers. You see these people explode. You see the hundreds of thousands. And it's like, I don't understand how people are making money. Because I had a bathrobe company. We hired influencers to hawk our bathrobes, and no one bought anything. So yeah, I don't get it. Well, you two take me through how people are making money in this game?
Well, take my hand. Let me take you on a little journey here,
please,
gentlemen. But no, first of all, honored to be here. WalkSauce42 in the house. So,
underscore, bro.
Exactly. Don't forget the underscore.
Yeah.
If you search WalkSauce42 without the underscore, you get some dude who's got it like at least 17 wives, all of whom are his sisters, lives in like deep Alabama somewhere. So don't go down that rabbit hole. Anyway.
Ask quickly about the underscore. Was that
Please.
like the name was taken, obviously?
The name was
Did you
taken.
go through the numbers? The numbers were taken as well?
The name was, yeah, originally I just wanted to be Walk Sauce. It was taken. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to be original and go with my college hockey number, 42.
Okay.
You know, I'm an athlete. And
Love hockey
we
players.
threw the 42 in there, and then the 42 was taken. So then naturally, the next door down popped the underscore in there, and then we were cooking with gas. So we threw the underscore in there, and that's that.
It's
You know,
almost like a hiccup. It's like saying your name with a hiccup. Right
it is. It is. Walk Sauce 42. And so anyway, you know, when I made an Instagram, I was actually, it was my junior summer in college. I was living in an NYU dorm, studying acting for film at the NYU Film Academy.
So you already had an idea, because when I was talking to you,
I've always known. I remember when I was like 8, I saw Max Keeble's Big Move, the movie about the kid who like sort of runs the middle school. He's got like spiky hair. He like is the paper boy, and I was like, all right,
movie or TV show?
movie. And I was like, all right, this kid, I resonate with this kid. I'm Max Keeble. I'm just a little bit doughier, but I've got the energy. I'm not a paper boy, but I can make it happen. I was like, I want to be like in movies like this kid. And there was this kid who I grew up with named Connor Gibson. Connor, if you're watching this, how you doing, pal? But he would every Friday get driven into New York to go on like auditions for like, you know, child acting commercials. And I remember
Where were you?
What's that?
Where'd you live?
Princeton, New Jersey. Shout out 609. And he underscore, and he got in this like Kids Next Door Cartoon Network commercial. I was like, this is sick. So I always loved the idea of entertaining, performing, trying to be in like television or film.
What'd your parents think of that?
I think I am basically my mom without the Y chromosome. Or no, I have the Y chromosome, she doesn't. So they support it. They've always supported me, which I'm lucky for.
She would have wanted to do it, kind of thing.
Probably. So now she's like the dance moms living vicariously through me, making sure, you know, my outfit's all good and go.
So did you
get
go
out
to
there on
auditions and
stage,
stuff?
kid. No, I didn't. But when I got cut from the hockey team my sophomore year of college, and I was like, all right, I'm going to start doing some live theater. So I started doing plays and that kind of thing, and then it snowballed into me.
How much was this?
Hobart College, baby, the Harvard
Slobart?
of the Finger Lakes. Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
I didn't see that coming. You're so smart to me.
Yeah.
And
Hobart,
clearly,
baby. Hobart. The glory
I
days.
Come on.
Come on. Exactly. We pay you to come here. And it was great. I liked Hobart. Hobart was a good time.
it gets a bad rap.
For sure.
There's smarter people there. than
Depends who
think.
you ask. Yeah. In the
Were you the smartest person there?
it depended who you asked. If you asked me, I'd tell you yes. If you asked any of my professors, they'd tell you absolutely not. But you know, here we are. Everybody wants to be part of a miracle. I graduated in 4 years.
Attaboy.
The story actually of how I graduated was pretty funny, but we can get into that later.
Wait,
I'm
no,
taking
sorry,
this
so we're
off
off track. So you were third year of college, you started doing plays.
Yes. I just love performing and like getting a script and finding a character and like putting my twist on it and then getting out there. And a little show pony. So it was fun. And I've always been like, you know, outgoing, one of the funny kids in class. Like,
Were you always hairy, or?
No, actually. The hair came later. Really when I started doing the nature walks with Walker.
I see.
Okay. But we can get into that later as well. I actually used to be very not hairy.
Oh,
I
okay.
used to look like just like a little baby's buttocks walking around every day.
I remember I hated when they did shirts and skins because I was like, I got a late,
Yeah,
late
exactly.
armpit hair.
I didn't know you were a late bloomer.
Well, I was young for my class, but yeah, I was a little late too, and I had no armpit hair. Well, I don't know why that would be embarrassing now thinking about it, but it was really an issue for me.
Yeah, well,
If you want to
I
see
get that.
embarrassing, you need to check out Jeremy auditioning for Titanic.
I love that.
I'm not even in the part of the conversation. I'm just a guy.
No. You're Jeremy. And, I need everyone to see this video. I
We'll
really
pull it
do.
up. I'll throw it up in
It's
my in my story.
incredible because
It's weird.
it's so weird.
We'll talk about it later.
No. I actually this whole podcast is taking a right turn, and we're
Perfect.
going. No.
Strap in. We're playing Jello.
It's with Kate Winslet. It's a full screen test. It's
I
amazing.
love that.
It's on the
I
set.
have a story to tell about that, but I'm not going to tell right now.
Okay. I just had to say that though. Anyway,
Okay, so we're starting to get the bug. We're feeling it. We're feeling in the flow. You know, you like to perform. You like to make people laugh.
Didn't know how to really get into the world of like acting professionally, television, film. I saw like an open casting call for once Disney bought Star Wars. They were like, come to Michigan. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can get to Michigan. I got the sides, but then I just didn't end up going and doing it.
For Star Wars?
For like the first Star Wars that Disney came out with.
Yeah.
Like the TV show.
No, like the Rogue
Episode
One.
Yeah, one with Jar Jar Binks. Like the
No. That's order of that's
Rogue One. Like
Rogue One.
Rogue
Like
One.
when Bob
Yeah.
Iger-
You're thinking Phantom Menace like Natalie Portman.
No, I'm just getting very angry at Jar Jar Binks right now.
He's not Jar Jar Binks.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
It's aged better though. People don't like people of that. You guys don't hate Jar Jar Binks, right?
No.
Our generation hates.
I love the Phantom Menace. You got fucking Darth Maul out there with the
Two Jedi, we will not live to see another day. It was so bad, dude. Yes, because that's what they were doing. It was like racist aliens. They were doing like a bad Asian accent. It was terrible.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So
R.I.P. Qui-Gon.
we're gonna stay focused on the starting. The theme of this conversation is starting.
Sure.
So
New
we're gonna
beginnings.
stay on track, Jeremy. All right? Yeah. No, anyway. So you're starting out. So you got this tickle, but then you took a turn. Did I remember correctly from last night? Daddy was a finance guy.
Daddy was a finance guy. So essentially what happened with Daddy was he graduated.
Sorry that I said that.
He graduated, contrary to popular belief, and worked at a restaurant on Nantucket for 6 months.
Okay.
Went back to Geneva, New York, to 315, G Vegas, and coached a local hockey team and some ice hockey, and then worked for a commercial real estate company. I worked for Cushman & Wakefield in brokerage.
Shout out to Cushman and Wakefield.
Shout out Cushman. Still waiting on that commission check in 2016, but we'll.
It could come through, dude. You
I
never
fucking
know.
hope so.
Let's go.
Did that for a year, and then went back up there for one more year. I was basically just like trying to hold on to college as long as I could. I was coaching our club team. I led the Hobart varsity club hockey team to the first ever UNYCHL, upstate New York Club Hockey League
You were the coach?
title.
Yeah.
I was the coach, and then the idiot kid who was running the team, the manager, didn't fill out the forms at the beginning of the season for us to be eligible for nationals. So we're all celebrating. We're throwing this massive fucking party at Hobart, and we find out, we get an email that we're not eligible for nationals, even though we fucking won the entire upstate New York league, and we were livid. So anyway, that high came to an immediate crash, and then I got a phone call from the father of a family for whom I babysat for a long time back in high school. He was the head of sales at this company on Wall Street, this sell-side firm. He was like, Walker, we're hiring a junior on the sales desk. Would you be interested? I said, say less. Packed my bags, came to the Big Apple, and never looked back. So I worked there for 6 years.
So you were like, oh, maybe I could do this for the life, make some money.
Well, I was like, look, I was held back in math in high school. If you ever told me that I was going to have a chance to work on Wall Street or do that kind of thing, I'd tell you you were an idiot. Like that, I never did the internships or anything like that. I mean, I could barely add 1 and 1 and get 4. So I was like, let's make it happen. And what a cool opportunity. And it allowed me to move to New York. I remember being told, like, growing up, like, if I wanted to live the sort of lifestyle that I was raised around, I was going to have, like, a quote-unquote real job.
Yeah.
And I never knew. I didn't grow up, I had some friends who knew I had this one kid I grew up with who was, like, he knew he wanted to work on Wall Street when we were, like, 10.
Yeah.
He was, like, walking around with fucking business cards at the country club pool, like, handing, just being, like, dude, like, chill. So
I have a friend who's just a real estate. His kids are at Buckley, which is very prestigious, like
Indeed.
a private school here in New York City.
yeah, I'm sure they speak Mandarin with their nanny while they're eating, their dehydrated kumquat wraps over the weekend. Anyway.
But we were eating a burger at we were eating a burger at JG Mellon's, of course, and I look and you see all the little Buckley uniforms, and these kids are in second grade,
And they're all tied together by leashes.
and I'm just watching them like slowly single file across the street. He goes, look at all those little future CEOs. It was so douchey.
They're in their Buckley incubation program. But yeah, so I took the job in New York, and it was great.
You didn't want to do the thing, but you were like,
Which thing? The Wall Street thing or
Yeah,
the
what
acting?
did you
Yeah.
think for a second?
No,
Like,
I was
okay, I'm gonna
excited.
do it.
I was excited. I was like, I came to New York, I interviewed. I was excited to get to New York, try something new, have my first like real job, like be on a salary, live in the city, go to the office, like that kind of stuff. So I was excited.
And that was, you said 6 years, right?
Yeah, July 2018 until 5 years actually, until I was rudely fired in cold blood in July of 2023.
Is there an NDA on that, or is that a story?
The NDA's up.
It's a good story.
Spill it.
The NDA is up. So what happened with that was it was a Tuesday night in Midtown New York, the Tommy Bahama restaurant, client event. Drinks were flowing, atmosphere was buzzing, deals were being made. And I am chatting with a gentleman who was part of the C-suite at the company. I'm not going to name names. And you could tell that he was pretty, like, racked, as the kids were saying. And he goes, and he had a reputation for racked. It's going to be R as in Roger, A-C-K-E-D. Racked. And so he had a reputation for, dipping into the bag and getting into the wrong sugar bowl, as they say. And he was like, I'll be right back. And we all see him walk out the door and get into this like Honda Pilot, come back in, just beeline it to the fucking ladies' room, and then come back out. And the guy is just like a fucking bull in a china shop. Like, this is a client event at 6:30 on a Tuesday. The guy's like 45 years old. He's got a pregnant wife at home in New Jersey, like children. It's just, he is, and he just doesn't know what the hell is going on. I was like, all right, can we just all, like, this guy is fucking racked. He's high on coke. And it was just hysterical. And he found out that I was talking about him. And the next day I got hit with a Teams message from him being like, hey, can you click this link? I was like, this is weird. This guy never talks to me. And it's just he and our head of HR. And he's like, Walker, look, you haven't been performing. We're going to let you go. I was like, this is blasphemous.
Did you see any proof of the stuff?
I think everybody saw proof just sprinkled all over his fucking face. But, like, yeah. Other than that, no. He wasn't like, Walker, come into the Honda Pilot with me and watch the transaction. Other than that, I saw the whole thing.
And so he just heard that you were like, hey, that
yes.
guy's making jokes about him.
Yes. And so he was like, you know what? This kid's a liability. His time's kind of run out. We're going to get rid of him. So I got a lawyer and got like a little bit of a settlement and stuff. But it's funny because I was like the culture guy at work. I was there. I was the fucking glue. Since I have left, the place is in shambles, which is hysterical. Everybody has quit. It's pretty funny. But like where I'm going with this is my desk to this day remains untouched. Similar to that of Albert Einstein at Princeton University when he died, his office remains untouched. And when you take a tour of Princeton, I'm sure many of you academics on here watching this will know this. When you take a tour of the good old Princeton University, they will walk you by his office, sealed off, untouched, papers askew, equations on the chalkboard, brandy spilled on the table, etc. My desk remains untouched with all my things. My McDonald's coupons, my basketball hoop, my yearbook, my MCT oil, multi-chain triglyceride oil, from when I was going through my keto phase.
Yeah, bulletproof.
Yeah, you're damn right. So anyway, I had a good run.
Company, in Hollywood version.
Is this because
L. Ron Hubbard?
I had a good run.
They keep the door open and a cigarette lit in there for his.
Really?
So maybe add that.
Do you have? Is it because you have allies within the company that love you and want to keep your desk like that?
Yes. Yeah. My friends have all been like my old coworkers, like, no, like, hey, Bob, like, new guy, don't even fucking look at this desk. Like, get the fuck out of here.
What about the coke guy? Is he like angry
He's
at the
gone.
desk?
He got fired
Oh wow.
Because of the
recently.
lawsuit?
Unrelated.
Could you, I feel like you could have made some money on a countersuit or a lawsuit. You didn't sue you.
We had a settlement. It didn't have to become a.
You had a mediator or something like that.
Yeah, I just got a lawyer. We wrote a couple letters, and
so that was nice. You got some runway as you went into unemployment.
Little runway going into unemployment.
And what year was that?
This was 2023, July.
Which coincides with, you already had an Instagram account, but when was your first video post-firing?
Post-firing, it happened pretty quickly. My colleagues, like, Walker, we want to help you get another job. We'll get you involved with some interviews at other places. And I was like, you guys, I don't know if if the world of slinging data is for me. I might like have a bigger purpose. And they're like, okay, like we get it, but. And then so my girlfriend was like, "Why you've always talked about performing and entertaining and blah blah blah. Why don't you just start making, just put your fucking money where your mouth is, and this new settlement where your mouth is, and make some videos."
Can I ask you a quick question about
Yeah.
what it was like for those 6 years where you clearly have an itch and you are a performer by your nature, is what you're now doing, like what's in your nature?
Yeah.
Did you feel when you were working that there was a misery or there was a depression or there was any sort of like thing
Yeah.
that was, you felt blocked?
And also just to add to that, from what I
Yeah.
know about that job at that time, is they really push you. You're like grinding. You're having
For sure. I mean, like, look, let's be honest. I worked at like the Temu version of like a fucking real sales and trading shop. Like, anyone who knows me, who knows where I worked, is like, all right, yeah, like it's a fucking fund. Like they've got employees in HR, but like, I mean, okay, it's a Temu version of a real shop. But so it's not like I'm like across the street here at Goldman, you know, working into the wee hours of the morning, really making bank. But so I was, you know, I was in sales. It was I wasn't like an analyst. Like you put a gun to my head, I can't even fucking operate a pivot table. Like I don't know anything about Excel, anything. I would just like email my clients, call my clients, hey Bill, how you doing? How's the wife? How's the kid? You know, I know, you know, let's. I was trying to think of something funny to say, but I didn't. But
Have you heard of
how's,
Amazon?
How's everybody doing? Yeah, I'd be like, something has just come across my desk. Okay, it's on the end. But anyway,
But basically.
yeah. It's called Aerotime International. 2 brothers out of a shed in Oregon. But anyway, wait. What was I saying? The itch.
So that salesman show.
Yes. So definitely in just sales by nature, you get to be fun and clever and funny and interact with people, which was huge. And like I'm not joking when I say like the culture guy thing. Like I leaned into that hard. I would like plan our holiday parties. I would host our offsites like every, you know, our H1, that's first half for those of you who don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We would have like an offsite, and I'd get up there in a tuxedo pretending it was the Oscars and like host it. You know, I brought some levity into a dark world, especially post-COVID. And
You're a good time guy, a fun hog.
Exactly, a fun hog, or fog as they say. But then I also, when COVID started, was really where like I upped my culture guy game. You know, March 2020, the world's crumbling, everyone's falling apart, there are babies and women crying in the street, everything's on fire. I go back to Princeton, New Jersey, I'm in my childhood bedroom, I'm like, shit, I have so much more free time where I used to have to look busy. What could I do with myself? And I decided to buy a raft on Amazon and sail it down a river in my backyard and pop it. And I was dressed in a full captain suit, and I started Nature Walks with Walker. So I was basically stranded in the woods, and I had, just like Castaway, instead of Wilson the volleyball, I had Tito the vodka bottle. And I was out there with like no clothes on, just like surviving for like a couple months, and I would do 1 episode a week.
Oh, that's
And
so
that was
great.
really fun. So that was really the first. Nature Walks with Walker was the first real content I started doing. And my company caught on to it. And they're like, Walker, will you like... We're losing people left and right here. Morale is fucking in the trenches. Like what, you know, we might as well have been in like trench warfare in, you know, England in 1912. I mean, it was dark.
Yeah.
Because clients were dropping, or
Not just,
employees?
sure, clients didn't, you know, no one knew what to do with budgeting because everybody was freaking out, but just employees, like you're living at home on top of your spouse who you can't stand, and your kid's shitting on the floor, and your dog's got, you know, AIDS, and it's just chaos. And it's just like...
Did you answer the call?
Of course I answered the call. So what I would do is each week I would recreate our morning Zoom calls, our morning sales calls, where everybody would come on. And, you know, when you work with people, it's like anything. Everyone has kind of their thing, their little mannerisms that they do and that sort of thing. So I would be like each little square of each person. So
Imitate
everyone
everybody.
knew, like this one guy was always in Mets gear. So he was like in his Mets set. This one dude would always like stretch and be like obviously flexing, but like trying to make it subtle. And so like, I had like a protein thing and like I was like flexing while one analyst is like speaking. That would be me. Like our CEO would be like, he was fucking obsessed with Strava and would post his runs like on Instagram all the time. So I had my like I was like
Strava?
dying and like a
What's
cutoff.
Strava?
Like Strava's the running app where you track, because naturally everybody gives a fuck about how your run went. So your 5K. So like you post your stats and people can follow along.
So-
I did 10 seconds better than my time yesterday. My resting heart rate is improving. I really care about that. So I was excited to see the updates. So I was like sweating after a run. But so that was fun. That kind of stuff.
And so I think about you doing that. When I think about doing that myself, I'm right now getting exhausted.
Sure.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's a big job.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when you
I
wake
can
up in
show
the
it to you on my
morning
phone.
and you think about all the ideas for let's just say the Zoom Hollywood Squares
Sure.
thing. Do you feel this like weight, or does it energize you?
It energizes me. I'm excited. I'm excited to like pull this thing together and then share it with an audience that I know is going to resonate with it.
Yeah, he's like a real artist.
And it'll still get like, sometimes it'll be tiring and I'll be like, oh God, like how many more takes do I have to do to like nail this fucking eccentric Frenchman consultant we've hired? And like, but you know what? I'm going to make it happen.
Do you still know the Frenchman consultant?
Oh yeah,
vibe?
Gerard.
How did he go? What
How
was
you
his
doing?
vibe?
Gerard was great, didn't speak a fucking lick of English. And he actually got his like green card like halfway through, or his true citizenship, whatever that is, like halfway through his tenure at the company. And we threw him an America party, and I got him some American flags. And I draped, it was basically like he had just won the Olympics. And,
Okay, so when you made these,
bonsoir!
when you made these outdoor guy ones,
Yeah, nature walks with Walker.
You would write these out, or you would
No,
improvise these.
these would be improvised. I'm telling you, I would be like, so I live in New Jersey. My parents live in New Jersey. We live on like 7 or 8 acres, probably half of which are woods. So like, I would just go into our backwoods. But like, to anyone watching this video, I'm deep. I'm like,
Do you think they believed you?
I mean, they
Yeah, it
knew
was a cover.
they knew that it was a bit. Although there were a couple people, like this one girl who was an exchange student at Hobart, DM'd me, and it did not. It went right over her head, and she was like, "Hey, like, do you need help? Like, are you okay? Like, you what? Like, she thought that
How'd you play that?
she thought that I had like cracked." I was like, she was such a sweet woman. I didn't even have the heart to respond to her. I left her on red.
When you, when you switched your text to red, by the way.
What's that?
The red receipts.
You have red receipts
read
on
receipts,
your text,
red
by the way.
receipts.
I like it.
I
Me
know
too.
what that means.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
you do.
I do have one.
Yeah,
I know when you're
It
ignoring
means
me.
I know when you've read my text.
Yeah, we can see when
Why
you're.
would anyone turn that on?
I don't know.
You have turned it on.
Sometimes it happens automatically though. It's
But I
weird.
mean, why would somebody choose to do that?
Well, if you're like trying to like get under someone's skin.
Or no, you could. It's a forcing function for half to receive. Like I have 20 on. I don't respond to
Right.
text well. I don't like being
How long
communicated.
is that my ship it on?
Definitely a few weeks.
I'm pretty good at responding.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you've been
Yeah.
great to me, but I'm
But
sure
there
there's a
was
lot
one,
of people
like,
who
there
are
was,
offended.
Like a week ago that I was like, "Yo, I just got this."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When now you're caught in a lie.
But that was the first bit of content, and that was.
So tell me how many you went from.
scratching
Let's say
the
you
itch.
had 500 followers of your
Sure.
friends.
Yeah.
When that started to hit, talk to me about the growth of followership.
Yeah, we went from nature walks with Walker, and then my parents were like, "You guys pack up the car. We're packing up the car, Griswold family vacation style. We're driving across the country. We're spending the summer in Sun Valley, Idaho. I mean, you can tell obviously there's some Chad in me here,
There's some chat.
but
yeah,
you know
yeah.
we're driving to Sun Valley. I was like, Mom, Dad,
Jeremy, you have a good one, man. Thanks
yeah,
for
have a good night.
stopping.
Have a good night. You can't pull the rug from underneath me. I've got this massive production that I'm 2 months into. So I'm like, all right, if I'm going to be on the open road, my parents suck. I'm going to make content going across.
How viral did the nature walks go?
It stayed within the friend group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then so I did Hot Dog Boy. So every time we stopped at a gas station or a rest stop, I'd review a hot dog. But anyway.
So is that borrowing from Barstool Guide? A little
Yeah,
Portnoy.
similar to like.
I was going to do it with
yes,
French
yes.
onion soup, actually.
Exactly.
I'm a French onion soup guy.
You know, Dave Portnoy crawled so I could walk. He walked so
Yeah.
I could run.
Yeah.
And a little bit of an all gas, no brakes vibe as well. But anyway,
Yeah.
we did that, and then it was time to get like back into the office. You know, by the time the summer ended, we sort of got back to work, and so I couldn't do the content anymore. So then, fast forward to July of 2023, when the Tommy Bahama incident happened. That was when the content started. So late July 2023, I came out with the Wall Street intern, the kind of classic dipshit, clueless kid in the Hamptons.
Go Google it. Go find it.
Backwards hat, company vest, Zin, just in line at Surf Lodge, ready to fucking drop the equivalent of Guatemala's GDP on a chicken tendy tower, crush some diabolically crisp bottles of Whispering A, and just hit on anything with a pulse. Like, that was their Super Bowl. And you either knew that guy, you were that guy, or you were hit on by that guy. So he just worked.
And these ones you wrote?
These ones I wrote. So it started with him on the train. You know, let's fucking go, boys. Like, we're going out there. It's going to be sick. Talking about, like, the share house. Yeah, we got a 3-bedroom with, like, 30 dudes. It's going to be dope.
And you have that little picture of the empty train behind you.
Picture of the LIRR in the background. And that was where it all started. And so that was, I probably
was that
went
one
from...
video a little like, oh, this is a funny thing, or you're like, oh, shit.
No, I was like... I knew that I knew that character very well because him a little bit, but not... See, the thing about the Wall Street intern, all of those videos, if you watch them... He's never in the venue. He's always in line. So the thing about the Wall Street intern is he never gets in where he's going. Different from Chad, who is the Nepo baby, born and bred with the silver spoon in his mouth. The Chad is dangerous because he actually knows what to say. He knows what kind of wine to order. He knows what works and what doesn't work. And he's got the money. He'll weasel his way into the venues, and then he's just a fucking nightmare for everybody within a 5-mile radius. The intern is just a bull in a china shop, and he's fucking clueless. He grew up kind of blue collar. It's just his first time away from home with a little bit of disposable income. The Chad is just, he's flying on jets. He's, got the nuclear codes to dad's checking account. He's got Consuelo on speed dial, whipping up quesadillas in a 30,000 square foot Palm Beach home, going for, swimming laps in the goodnight pool with fillies just all over the place. Like, Chad's living his best life. The intern is just fucking clueless. So that's kind of the difference between the two. But
which one was first?
Chad came later. The intern is where we started.
Yeah.
And I probably got like maybe 15 to 20,000 followers over the course of 2 months doing him.
Okay.
It was just just the right time. It was.
And we're gonna bring your manager into this because I want to know when he entered the scene.
Right now.
Perfect timing.
It was quite good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right at the end of August.
Okay, so tell me how did you?
Yeah.
When did you come across him, and what made you want to be with him?
Just like everybody else, and you
Romantically.
discovered
Be
it.
with him sexually. You guys are
Yeah.
together, right? No. I power bottom.
Just kidding, Fee. That's his fiance.
Oh, congratulations, by the way.
She's
That's
real.
cool.
Have we inflated her today?
I saw the Wall Street intern video, and just like he said, I truly was that kid. I was 18. I went out there after my freshman year of college, and I was so enamored with the character because I know exactly what that feeling's like.
Yeah.
You don't even know. You worked all week. Your parents gave you maybe $150. You're blowing it at your friend's place who happens to have a place there.
Yeah.
You don't talk to any girls, maybe like one or two you text.
Yeah.
There's no cell service. And I just was enamored with that character. And I came up from like the entertainment world, started in the mailroom. And then a childhood friend of mine is actually a really similar kind of comedian to Walker. So I started managing a friend of mine.
Oh.
And the way that this sort of met kismet was I was at business school looking to make some extra cash, as everyone does. And I'm like, I'm pretty good at this managing thing. And I just thought Walker had something that hits a nerve with people that have high disposable income. And it's highly shareable.
Yeah.
It's a community of people that know what they're looking for and know how to spend money versus people that just spray comedians and they're just for the mass audiences.
Yeah.
Walker had a really high wallet of his average viewer.
Yeah, it was niche, but it was also like some of your videos. I will say, like, I would say 60% of the terms you're using I've never heard of, but it's almost like when you watch ER, like you don't care what the doctors are saying; they're clearly in it and they know what they're doing.
And people will comment on some of the videos where I'm really drilling down, as they say.
Yeah.
And they're like, verbatim, like the comments will be like, I don't know, I didn't understand a fucking word he just said, but I couldn't look away.
Yeah.
End
Common
quote.
refrain.
Like that kind of thing.
So what was your sort of when you first came to it? When you came and said, I've got some ideas for you. How did that work?
I just said, I know you're doing something that people resonate with. Your follower count is growing. I know how to monetize with brands, and I'll be there. I'll be your Sherpa. I'll make sure you don't get taken advantage of by agents or other people.
How do you monetize with brands? You call the brands and you're like...
Yeah, like again, when you have like especially like a manager, the incentive structure is he does well, I do well. Your agent is the money all goes into the agency pot, and then you get your little piece. And the rock is where your money should be your time should be spent, because that's like a higher ROI of your time being an agent. Versus I can be one-on-one with Walker. If he's doing well, I'm doing well.
Right.
And I can go to bat for him in a way that an agent or some bigger company can't.
And when we met, you know, the thing that I liked about Fran, among many things, was that he and I were both in a similar phase in our respective, I'll call them careers. I mean, you were in business school. Yeah. I was just getting started. He wasn't some guy with 20, 30 years of experience in the industry with a bunch of different clients where I was like, it just kind of worked. Serendipitous has kind of been our word for the week.
Yeah.
And it was a serendipitous moment. I mean, I got on the phone with him, and I was like, okay, yeah, this guy sounds a little slick. He's down in Costa Rica. Like, all right.
You were in Costa Rica?
Calling me from La Selva Tropical, as they say. And I was like, all right. And he sounded over the phone. You got a little bit of the accent. And I was like, all right, maybe this guy is going to like totally just wax me for all that I'm worth. But no, it worked out. And you...
I mean,
you get like a little bit of the New York. I feel like just like a little bit.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
I hadn't met him, I wasn't sure if he was going to sell me like a used Nissan Leaf or something.
New York and LA.
Oh, cool.
But LA is where I went to. I showed up at LA when I was 17. I left when I was 26.
Oh, right.
Very formative.
You were
years.
shaped.
Do you make because quantity is important in this game, right?
Yeah.
So
volume.
How often do you feel like not in the mood? Maybe you didn't love that one, but you have to push that out.
Yeah. I sort of like go through phases with like when it comes to the log, like the backlog of videos that I have where it's like, you know, it's not like I'm waking up every day and I'm like, shit, I have to film a video today that goes out today. So
like this podcast.
20 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, we're getting the light. All right, one second. Yeah.
This comes out at 8 p.m. every Wednesday night.
Eastern.
Do you try to do every day?
Yeah, I try to post every day. In the past couple, I would say month or so, I've started to steer away from that a little bit. Like my main goal for the first year of doing this, I've been doing it for about a year and a couple months, was just, you know, it's like going to the gym. I mean, clearly I know what the fuck I'm talking about here. You got to be consistent. You got to go every day. If you go once or twice in a week and then you just stop, nothing's going to happen. You got to show up every day. You got to fucking hit the same spot every day, and then eventually the tree is gonna, you know, fall down. And like with this, that was my goal for the first year. Every single day I wanted to post a video, whether I loved it or thought it was decent. I'm not gonna post something that I think sucks, but like, luckily, and I'm trying different things. How long
was that period where it just stayed in the friend group?
That was like March 2020 until July 2023. But I wasn't really making content.
No, he got fired, and then he was like...
But I wasn't making content when I was like 2021, 2022.
It wasn't because it wasn't...
No, I wasn't doing characters.
But I guess I put that out there in the sense that, you know, if people are doing this and they're like, oh, there was a period of time where it was sort of incubation, where you were trying stuff out, it wasn't as organized.
Yeah,
and then you made
definitely the first few, like July, August, September, the fall of 2023, late summer and fall, I tried all different kinds of stuff. I put a bunch of other characters out there other than the Wall Street intern. I mean, I had like moms checking into resorts for vacation with like a towel on my head.
I love your female work, actually.
Exactly. Yeah, I do good
you're
female
incredible
work.
at female.
They Get Ready With Me is, I love
The Get Ready With Me was the first thing I saw,
female
and I immediately followed you. I had no idea.
My friends will sometimes say that I have a little bit of a Cam from Modern Family in me. Basically, I'm just like, I've got a 35 BMI and I'm gay. But anyway, we digress. But Lily. But
that was quick though, Walks. I will say, when I reached out to him, this is August of 2023. By this January 1st of 2025, he had gone from about 18,000 followers to about 45, just shy of 50, and then from 50,000 followers, which was basically Jan 1, 2024. By the time we hit June 1, 2024, so 6 months later, I think we had eclipsed a quarter. You had eclipsed a 250,000 people following you on just Instagram.
The Get Ready With Me's were big.
Yes.
The Get Ready With Me were...
In January of last year, a year ago, I was sitting on my phone and I was watching some like fucking 8th grader talk about how she was pissed that they were going back to school after the holiday break, and there was a new rule that like the kids couldn't have phones at school, and she was like in shambles, like freaking out while like just dousing like a gallon's worth of like drunk elephant foundation like on her face, like, and then like we can't, and their professor or teacher, Miss Williams, is gonna take my phone from me. I'm not gonna be able to text anybody. Like, what am I gonna do with my boyfriend Jason? Like, oh my god, it's gonna suck. Like all this shit, and it's just like, all right, this has to be addressed because it's all over the internet. And it's not kids. Most of the time when I'm doing the videos, I'm making fun of like grown-ass women and men. Like, it's like, get ready with me to get fired from my job. Get ready with me to go to jury duty. Get ready with me to like, just be a fucking human being.
Tell my boyfriend I'm pregnant.
Get ready. That one caught on. I would just search in TikTok, like, GRWM and see what would come up and what was the most popular. And one of them was, get ready with me to tell my boyfriend that I'm pregnant. And so I did a video where I broke the news to my boyfriend.
It was a three-parter or a four-parter?
We were with child. And no, it was like we rode the pregnancy for 2 trimesters. And people were like, we need this. Like, what's up with the baby daddy, Jason? What's going on? When's the gender reveal? How are your symptoms? Like, what's going on? And it was pretty funny. And people I think are kind of pissed at me that I didn't ride it the whole way because the baby was due at Christmas and he was going to be named Jesus and it was going to be a whole thing. But I just... I got pulled in other directions, but
he puts you haven't seen any of this, which is so funny to me. But like,
I've seen some of it.
yeah, he puts like whipped cream on his hands, like whipped cream, peanut butter.
Like
he gets the tongs that you like flip steaks with,
hair.
and that's for the
You're
hair.
always super late. You're always late. You're always late. If you're making a get ready with me and you're on time, you've already fucking lost.
Yeah,
You don't make a get ready with me unless you're at least an hour late.
I laugh so hard. The boyfriend, she tells him he's pregnant, and she just like lightly says that he goes and doesn't talk to her and passes out. He just like literally out cold.
And the parents, her parents
hate her.
hate the boyfriend. It's like a whole.
She's like, I think it's
It
gonna
was
be
a whole
dramatic.
bit.
So these start as one thing.
About a year ago.
Yeah.
You write a thing.
The get ready with me.
And then that character kind of hits, and then you're like, oh, let me expand on the
Yeah,
story.
totally. Expand on the story.
Have
And like,
any of these have any of these been more fully baked when you produced that first video, where you're like, I can see the whole characters,
Or you've mapped it out, or you just kind of like serendip, like just rolling and with
like
flowing.
you mean like sort of
like a storyboarding?
premeditated?
Yes.
I have the story already.
Yeah.
The boyfriend and the parents, or whatever the circumstances are?
I would say, I mean, something like the Wall Street Intern, something like the David Goggins impersonations that I do.
Oh, I haven't seen those yet.
Oh, dude, I'm like running shirtless all over America, screaming at the camera.
Wait, who's David Goggins?
David Goggins is an ex-Navy SEAL, motivational speaker, super intense. Like the guy runs 100 miles in the
Just
desert.
basically like tells you to get in pain.
Exactly.
Your whole life.
And it's just a funny juxtaposition to see me running with my shirt off versus him running with his shirt off. But like, I do a good impersonation. Like, it sounds like him.
Are they all? I'm gonna watch these as soon as we're done here.
Yeah.
Big, like, you're doing different voices and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain point. I mean, I would say like the Get Ready With Me girls are super girly, kind of sassy.
Like you do a
Like,
falsetto-y voice.
Yeah, like,
No.
hey guys, get ready with me to go to dinner at the club with my mom and dad. Like, it's gonna be, I'm like so annoyed because my mom got me this super cute maxi, but my dog took a shit on it, now I can't wear it. Like, that kind of thing. And then like, David Goggins will be like, I'm like running with my shirt off, and like, you have to know him, but it's like, you know, like, I see it all the time. Like, motherfuckers being little bitches, just screaming, just like cursing and like yelling, and like I broke my femur back in North Carolina, and like he's just
still running.
He's still running, and like that kind of thing. And then the emergency board meeting, the old board member character. Folks, we want to thank you for coming to the annual meeting of the board. We have a lot we have to talk about here. Chauncey Stilton's grandson wore white jeans in the dining room last night, so he's been dinged from the club. Jim, would you please remove your hat? Thank you. Anyway, so if you have a problem, that kind of shit. So there's like different voices and things like that. I can do accents and whatever. A lot of the characters, I don't have a premeditated thing. I know that there's runway with them. If nothing else, I can just do insert XYZ character over this, like Pookie and Jet, for example. I don't know if you know who the Pookinator and Jet are.
No.
Pookie and Jet are this couple from, they live in Atlanta. They're so over the top. I mean, they're cute, they're in love, I get that. But like, he's the guy who's like, they do these fit checks where like they're standing together side by side. So I make them where it's a split screen. I'm the guy and I'm also the chick.
Yeah.
And they've got these southern accents, and Jet starts every video with like, I mean, good Lord, babe. Like, that outfit is a knockout. Like, 10 out of 10. Gonna look even better on my floor. Like, you thought I was on a business trip last week. I actually flew to Palm Beach, where I secured you a new push present because we're having our baby Paloma. And he buys her, like, a fucking $50,000 Birkin. And she's wearing, like, $1 million worth of jewels, and it's like so over the top. But like people have fallen in love with them, and I get it. They're great and cute, but they're also, I mean, you can't not fucking make fun of these people. Like they're out of control.
And they're all based on people that you really do see, and because I
Sure.
was talking last night, and what was fascinating to me was that you seem to have like almost a photographic memory of the details of human behavior. And it's like the terms.
I think that's actually true. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, like you sort of see someone. And
I remember. I will see something unfold in front of me, whether it's something big and memorable or something minor, like someone's mannerisms or whatever, and I will remember either how they sounded, the inflection in their voice, what they did with, and I can picture it when I'm then trying to regurgitate it in my own thing.
It's incredible. It's an incredible talent.
What's the future? What is the how do you see it?
Yeah, I mean,
It's all good. Dude.
I think
it's all good. Take over, dude.
who invited
Honestly,
this guy?
I met him this morning.
Yeah, we met him. We gave him a hot meal, and he hasn't left. Exactly.
It's called starting and not finishing, dude.
The future, I would say, kind of like, I mean, I was saying earlier, for the first year, which we just kind of wrapped up, my goal was just to be consistent and kind of, not to sound dramatic, but kind of show up every day and just make a video every day.
Process over
See
results.
See what happens, exactly. Now that we're entering year 2, or as the suit here likes to say, that was year 0, this is year 1.
Attaboy. I like that.
I'm going to be a little bit more targeted in building out characters that have worked.
Mm-hmm.
So being intentional about like storylines. Where does Chad go? What happens to him? So like we build a story. Palm Beach Dad. You know, all of these different characters that I'm doing. So I'm going to have build out some storylines for them. I'd love to get involved in some scripted stuff, TV or film somehow. That was the impetus for doing this in the first place, rather than 10 years ago having to kind of wait tables and go on auditions. You can kind of get your name out there and build a brand with social media. So that was kind of the original
What do you got right now,
point for this.
followers-wise?
Instagram, a little over 600,000 between
Instagram is
Instagram and TikTok. Instagram, 315,000.
TikTok going away?
Supposedly it's going to go away this Sunday on the
How do you
7th day.
feel
the Lord
about that?
said.
Is that panicky
Pull
for
the plug.
everybody?
I think it is panicky. I was just with a couple people in Palm Beach who were talking about their content creators, but mainly their followings are on TikTok, and they were genuinely freaking out.
Yeah. Your lifeblood.
But I've never
We modified
liked or trusted TikTok.
Yeah.
It's also TikTok there was a massive shift from COVID, like 2020, until recently, where brands used to allocate all of these marketing dollars to TikTok because of the sheer volume and the usage on the app. But then people started to realize fucking 95% of TikTok are children under the age of like 14 who don't even have, you don't have $1 to spend. So people weren't buying on TikTok like on Instagram. You have like every middle-aged woman across America has an Instagram account following her friend who's married, who she envies, and goes on like every talk show and like sits in the crowd. They call them, the talk show cohort. Those are the people you want to tap into. Those are the people. I don't mean this from like a salesy, skeevy way, but like those are the people who are spending money.
Yeah.
Adults. Kids don't on TikTok are learning dances.
The TikTok live shopping is massive.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
A demo for Walker, though.
It is.
Yeah, no, I mean, but you could do some parodies of live shopping, I would think.
Totally.
And actually sell things
There's
while you're
definitely
parodizing.
the parodying. I like doing
Because there's a
parody stuff.
great bathrobe company that I think
yeah, what's it called again?
Wakanichi.
That's right, Wakanichi.
Yeah. But anyway, this isn't about my bathrobes, guys. It isn't about the softest cotton terry in the world. We're not talking about.
How's it going? Are they selling it all? Are you pushing it all
Just relax. No, we're massive. No, we're selling out. We're sold out. Look, we're not going to talk about my incredible business. Go ahead. You go ahead.
You didn't hear about their deal with Four Seasons?
No, I just wonder about your observation of social media world,
Yeah.
and and what it is. You know, that like you talked about this aspirational thing where people are jealous of each other, and there's arguably some unhealthy stuff about that's going on there that some people are into, some people aren't.
Sure.
Is there some level of commentary about your observations of this, or is it all kind of a good-natured sort of? Is there any cynicism behind this, or is it pretty?
You mean social media in general?
Yeah, kind of like these characters that you're.
The characters.
No,
I
the
see.
characters, like, yeah.
But not
Yeah.
just the characters, but the fact that you're imitating them doing their social media.
My goal is for my page to be a place, not to sound cheesy, but where people can go. Obviously, 99.9% of the world or America have iPhones now, and you're on your way to work. You're sitting in the bathroom stall, avoiding your boss. You're going home. You're in bed. You just whip out your phone and you can scroll and see whatever you want. So the accessibility is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is for my page to be just a brief respite, happy place where people can go and kind of escape whatever is going on in their life at the moment, whether it's dramatic or something very simple.
Well,
And the characters that I do, people will ask me, especially when it comes to some of like the 1% humor, making fun of like wealthy people and country clubs and that, like, how do you know all of this stuff? And it's definitely a world that I grew up around and in a little bit. And like, so I'm directly making fun of like myself and like my peers and my family and my friends. And it's not at all like, it's not like me throwing fucking cheap shots from, you know, across the bow, being like jealous or something of a world that I don't know. Some of the reason that I think it works so well, if I will toot my horn, I guess, is the specificity that I drill into. People are like, wait, yeah, like that's exactly it. And that's exactly what happens. And he's sort of right. So like I don't know.
It's a joyful spirit. People are good at making fun when there's like love underneath, and there's just
sure.
love underneath. And he's a big-hearted guy, and so you haven't watched it yet, but it's like you haven't watched any of it, and no, but it is. It's just that thing. It does make you feel good.
The nuance of the references lead people to feel like he's talking directly to you.
Yeah.
It's like my club that I go to in Palm Beach.
Yeah, like your golden retriever, you know, your golden retriever sconce at 8, swallowed your wife's bangle, and now you're on I-95 on the way to the animal hospital. I got to get the stomach pumped, and your kid's late for, you know, lacrosse practice at Brunswick, and it's just fucking chaos. And, you know.
And have you gotten any flack for kind of talking about these proper nouns that people are protective of, like certain clubs, private clubs, all that
Once
stuff?
in a while, but like no, for the most part, people who are in the thick of that world that I'm making fun of enjoy it, and like they laugh at it, and I think it's fun because it's not like I'm attacking. As long as I'm not using like specific names and like this is the person who this happened to. You can kind of laugh in plain sight, hide and laugh in plain sight. There was one time I went to lunch with a good family friend at the B&T in Palm Beach. It's a bath and tennis club for those of you less couth. Bath and tennis in Palm Beach, and I was with we had lunch. It was crazy. This one woman.
Bathrooms and tennis.
Basically, my bath and tennis, bathing,
So
pool.
like every restaurant should be called
pool.
like a bath and restaurant.
Yes. We gave this guy one hot meal this morning, and he hasn't laughed. Like if you give him out a cookie, like, you know. But anyway, we'll address that in a second. But we're at the B&T, and we're having lunch, and like this woman comes up to me, and she's talking about how they just sent their nanny over to Stade to pick up her 12-year-old from boarding school. I mean, the amount of material is like phenomenal. And I intentionally left my phone at home just so that there wasn't even a problem, because you can't film at these places. Like you'll get in trouble. So, and I'm a guest. Fast forward a week later, I make a video, Chad goes to the B&T. Generic, green screen, nothing related to anything I saw. I just made up my own stuff. Someone at the B&T, some member, drove over to the B&T, manually flipped through the fucking guest book to find who I was and what member brought me, had the club call the member and demand I take the video down. The only reason I took the video down was because I didn't want my good friend to have to deal with the bullshit that this fucking person was putting them through. But like, other than that, I mean, no, it's no one really usually has a problem.
What about the influencers? What about the hey guys?
No.
They're
They
like-
don't.
Like, have you heard from the couple that you talked about?
Oh, that's actually true. I don't think they love me too much. Well, yeah, they don't love me a whole lot.
How do you know that?
I don't know it. The reason I think it is because for two reasons. Number one, they will usually repost people who are doing their shtick, their stuff, and I do their stuff on like a nuclear level. Like I have sent probably 500,000 followers their way. People thought that I made up Pookie and Jet. People were like, "Wait, we didn't realize they were real people." So anyway, I know they've seen my stuff. Campbell, Pookie, the wife. If you're watching this, hi. I don't have a problem with you. She DM'd me once and like sent me a heart. Like thought my thing was cute, but then I started talking about like how Jet's always horny, and like wanted to like sneak up to the master suite and primary suite. It's 2025, and like douse her in Chick-fil-A and show her the Continental 48. Something inappropriate like that.
They're like Christian.
They're kind of over my thing now, but I just. When I do those videos, just visually, it's funny because a lot of people think I have an identical twin. I'm like, are you guys fucking touched? Like, no, it's me doing two different characters on the same screen. Like, people are like, oh my God, they're so good. They're so funny. Like, I didn't realize there were two of you. And I'm like, that's great. Thank you for the support. But, like, it's just me. And so those videos are kind of an automatic viral video. They're funny to watch. They're funny to kind of... And Pookie and Jet are hot right now.
How big is this... excuse my ignorance about all this stuff, but how big is this genre of a parody sort of things like this?
I don't...
Not very.
I don't really know. I just started doing it with some parodying because like it worked, and like I've kept doing it. Like...
I think there's a point where a lot of people imitate one specific thing.
Yeah.
Well, they'll make fun of like guys.
Like you're
right
the
out of college.
corporate guy,
Yes.
or you're the country club guy, or you're the fitness guy. But like my page will say Walker's World. Like you're gonna get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you have a huge range. Do you have characters in the quiver that no one's seen that you're
For
excited
sure,
about?
we're gonna tap into like the at-home like cooking influencer,
Oh,
people who
I
like
can't
cook.
wait.
We've got a lot of fun stuff. We're tapping into like the boating and yacht world.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a lot of. We're branching out.
Good.
For sure.
That's exciting.
Which will be fun. And we're bringing the emergency board member back, the old stickler
I like
board
it.
guy.
I like
'cause
soft.
'cause
He's
fun.
soft.
He's soft.
Yeah.
He's soft and stern.
Even keeled.
Even
Yeah.
keeled, exactly.
That's nice.
So you
I'll be
do
in the
do
grill
TikTok
room with a
too, though?
fresh cup of gazpacho. What were you saying?
You do TikTok as well? You put
I do
info
TikTok.
on?
I put whatever I put on Instagram on TikTok, but I don't put much. I've never really trusted TikTok
Now-
because it's not like there's no.
Can I ask
personal
something? This is my own neuroses. So when you post and you see there's immediate data, right? And you see that one gets like 6.9 million views,
Sure.
and one stays like in the low 100,000s, or
Yeah.
one's like 40,000. Do you have any emotional reaction to that?
I mean, yes, in the sense that I'll be like, oh, I thought. Sometimes I'll post a video that I think is going to be like just a killer, and
Uh-huh.
it gets 100,000 views.
Yeah.
And other times I'll post a video that I think, not great, and it fucking blows up. So
Yeah.
like, you just don't know how people are going to react, and we're at the mercy of these goddamn algorithms.
I know, they're annoying.
Yeah.
So whatever the fuck Zuck feels like that day, we'll see what happens with my videos. But yeah, I'll be like, damn, of course, I want each video to get as many eyeballs as possible. So when one doesn't do as well as I hope it does, I'll be like, it doesn't bother me, but I'll be like, damn, I wish it had done better, I guess, but I don't.
Yeah, it's
doesn't
fun.
bother me.
So I have to talk a little bit about stand-up because we saw a show last night together. I've been hanging out at the Cellar, as the listeners know, and one of the things that sort of blew my mind is that even the top comedians, like Dave Chappelle was there last night.
Yeah.
But he and all of them will say, like, you just don't know. You think you have a good joke, and then you do it, and you just don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, at that level, really? You just don't know? And so it just applied to, like, these videos. I've noticed anytime I really work hard on something, it doesn't do well.
But something I would say to that I think is important is, let's say the audience is off that night, or in my case, the video doesn't go as viral as I hope. My whole philosophy is I believe in like what I'm doing and like what I put out there, and I know that this is like a quality
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
So I don't really care what people say to it or how big it
Yeah.
gets out there. Yeah.
How does it this idea of using response to gauge what
Yeah.
you want to put out is
Yeah.
one that's really irritating to me. He made me do this writing. He didn't make me. He asked me to do this writing course. You have to write every day. And the whole thing was write a thing, put it out, and based on exactly what these people are saying, figure out how to do the next one.
Yeah.
Which is challenging creatively for me, because I think there's a part of creativity, a big part of creativity, where you're asking yourself what you want to do. So do you look at a video that does really well, and how much does that motivate you to continue down that road? Or
Yeah,
to look into
it definitely does. If I make a video that goes viral, I'm like, okay, this was great. People enjoyed it. I'm going to do it again. But I'll tell you, now that I've kind of lapped a year of doing this, I've gotten so many of my newer followers haven't seen so much of my original stuff. So I spent like a week between Christmas and New Year's posting videos that I posted
From the bank.
over the 6 months ago or 8 or 10 months ago. So like,
And they are still on your page.
totally, they're still down there, but a
recycle.
lot of the people just missed them.
Yeah.
So, I posted. There's one video, the Chad goes to Vail, 4 seasons. I
Yeah.
posted that last February.
Oh, okay.
And when I posted that, it got 1 million views. When I posted it a week ago, it got like 100,000.
Oh, wow.
So like, it doesn't. It depends on
Same
how
video.
it gets pushed.
Same
It's
video.
not-
That's a very good
it's
data
not-
point.
Yeah, and that happens all the time. I also
Do you
posted.
know how many hours you have of stuff on your Instagram?
Oh God.
It's
A
a
lot.
shit
Yeah,
ton.
I would love to know that stat too.
Yeah, a ton.
And now, from a manager standpoint, what's the game when you have created a lot of quality content? There's a lot of material. There's a lot of IP there. Do you feel like you have to protect it in any way? Do you feel like just keep blasting? Like, is there a strategy involved now for you, or is it just like get this horse running and doing what he loves, and we'll sort of make it up as we go along?
I'll say the strategy is actually to convert some of the characters from the short form into a long form
Show.
entity that has
Yeah.
actual IP that we can
Who,
license.
who is a model of that? It's done it in this world. There's
Ones.
Hot One just had that huge exit.
He's not a character, but
He's
having
Right.
your own smaller thing.
Yeah.
Friday Beers, I think, is a great example of somebody who took a page that he doesn't even have a character. It's a meme account that it developed a media company, and this whole ethos of what they do has spawned this massive.
Who's the guy? There's the dude who was doing videos, and now he has the Netflix show, The Teacher. He's the teacher. Whatever. Yeah.
No, he's got a legit
He's
Hulu
like a
show.
scripted Hulu show.
Yeah,
And he's
The
like
videos
in the
were
classroom.
great.
yeah, he had a character. Yeah, this guy.
That kind of thing.
That stuff's really powerful as you go, and this is just me being an older kind of like unsolicited advice thing. Just really having a specific model and seeing that it can be done, and obviously
Yeah.
you'll do new ways. But that guy,
He's a perfect example.
You're-
That'd be something I would want to do.
yeah,
Future.
your characters are so deep, and you're
Have
clearly
a show based on a character.
Do you have ideas of like, how they, or are you mainly right now either thinking about what some of these characters could go longer in different forms, and also just getting money for products?
I had the pleasure of getting to know Bruckheimer pretty well, and he said, I know that my taste resonates with a large, massive population. I feel like my sensibility and taste is that way. If I give Walker the thumbs up, it usually means that he has my stamp of approval. Do I specifically come in and like hammer creative ideas to him? No, I leave that to him. But I have a really strong sense that if I like something, mass audience likes what I like. And that's my sort of North Star.
Does Bruckheimer know he plays hockey?
I mean, I would love to.
You're back
get
on the
that
ice
intro,
together.
please, let's get him.
Slap a fucking GoPro.
I
on
played
my
in
head
that.
and
I
get out
played that. I was in a hockey league in L.A. and I don't know if the Bruckheimer league's still going, but it was a fun time.
So, so just real fast, so the money part of it. So
Yeah.
you will take, okay, here's the overall account, and you'll go to.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a whole you have like underlying of how many people are engaging with this content. So
And then you go to the companies and you say, you pitch them? Or?
yeah, I pitch Walker and I say the data on about people are really surprised to find out that actually he has more of a female following than a male following.
I'm not surprised.
And then those little notes that I can bring to sort of help the brand understand like how that we can activate together. Activate just means post and have it be a partnership. That's what my goal is. But one thing I wanted to come back to that you brought up was about the TikTok ban. And TikTok followers are what I call cheap followers. There is no sense of community that you have with who you follow on TikTok.
Yeah.
So about 1 million followers on TikTok is probably worth about the same as 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So Walker's Instagram following in that community, when you follow somebody on Instagram, you got to manage that ratio of followers to following, and that's your own personal persona. So an Instagram follower is a more expensive follower, truly. They care to show you, hey, I'm part of this WalkSauce42_ community.
Yeah.
And when you see somebody now that follows him, you automatically have that kismet moment of like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah, I
and
like
that's
when I
what the
see
value is.
liked
That's-
by a friend.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I'm like,
totally-
oh, we watch the same
Yeah.
thing.
That's the value that I can.
How much a message board interaction do you feel is necessary, and do you do?
Like in the
With
DMs
fans?
and stuff.
Yeah,
like
hearty
comments.
I
or
try.
responding
I
to
try to
them.
like. I try to respond to every DM that I get, which takes a while. But like, and then
Not the
That's
commenting,
crazy.
I'll get in, and I'll get in there sometimes, and I'll engage. But not. Sometimes it's fun to just kind of watch it unfold.
Wait,
Kinda
every
like
DM?
Caesar vibes with the Coliseum. Play it out. Yeah, I mean, not in the hidden section.
Oh,
the
okay.
requests,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like
Yeah,
in
pe-
their suggested DMs and the primary DMs, I'll try to get back.
So I think it just
What
means
are
you have like a
hidden DMs?
mutual follower.
Hidden DMs is where like the full crapshoot is. Anything
Yeah.
from spam to
A lot of spam now.
some 40-year-old dude in Milwaukee who liked my bit.
Yeah, and it's rubbing one out to him.
Meaning that you respond to are people that you know or
Either
follow.
know or have like mutual friends
Yeah.
with, or a little bit closer
There's
proximity.
a filter. There's a filter on it. It
All
has
right.
to be like 1 degree of separation.
We gotta wrap this up because
Yeah.
you gotta go, and this has been so good. But I had one question that I want to kind of end with, and it's about serendipity because we kind of are doing this in a beautiful way. We got introduced through a friend, barely, because I'm putting stuff out, and he obviously is putting stuff out, and these social media engines, which I've resisted for a long time, but they do feel like just serendipity flywheels. So I was curious if there's something that sort of pops out for you as you've been on this incredible meteoric rise, which I think is super cool. It really is. Like last night at the thing, like someone saw me from New Girl, I took a picture, and then like 8 people were like, "Dude, I fucking love you," and I was like, "Oh yeah." Like it's the game is completely changed. So serendipity highlights is what I'm asking. Do you have some fun flow you've had in the last year that pops out in your
Just
head?
like stuff that's kind of
Yeah, just like
happened.
weird. Yeah, like
Um,
you mentioned Molly, like the Molly.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, Molly. People wanting to like do stuff with me in person. So like I'll get people. I got invited to perform and go to this lady's 50th birthday luncheon at Round Hill in Greenwich. It was 75 Greenwich moms, just all over the place. They paid for this. And I didn't pay to go there, although I would have. You guys were great, but I was
Did you
there.
pay for that? They're like,
They hit you up.
They actually
But then
emailed me,
I got
yeah.
back. I have a very high social battery, and like I get charged by being with people. That fucking sucked the life out of me. I got home at like midnight. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I can't even move. The next morning, I got a phone call from this random like 310 number, and it was like, hey, this is Molly Sims' assistant. She wants you to come to her Fashion Week event. And I was like, oh, like Molly Sims, it sounds so familiar. So I Googled it. I was like, oh yeah, I had a poster of Molly Sims on my wall, like growing up, like totally. So I went there, and she was so nice and great. She was like, come to my house in LA. When you're out there next. And I went there, and then I just like the snowball effect of just kind of saying yes to these opportunities has brought me to cool places. I had never even been to Palm Beach, Florida, when I started doing the Palm Beach Dad.
That's crazy.
Now
to me.
when I walk around Palm Beach, like not to sound arrogant, like I'm basically like the fucking Pope, like in Rome. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
I have people like, like 60-year-old women like dragging their like 20-year-old kid like out of their, Ferrari, being like, no, this is my Chad. Like this is my husband. Like, and I'm like, hi, like how are you? Nice to meet you guys. Like, so that's been really
crazy.
cool.
How
The-
did you know the specifics about the place? Did you chat GPT?
a little bit of Chad GPT. But I have friends who grew up going there, and it's all kind of plug and play. I was telling you guys last night.
Yeah,
People
say
in Palm
that.
Beach,
This is good.
people in Palm Beach the guy in Palm Beach who's renting in the Hamptons for the summer over Labor Day weekend has the same fucking problems. He's chomping at the bit to get a doctor to do a telehealth visit to get his kids' medical forms in for Palm Beach Day, just like the Greenwich dad in Nantucket is for fucking Brunswick, just like the Palisades dad is for John Thomas Dye. Like, it's all, everyone's got the same problem. The Palm Beach family, who are all about Goldens, their golden retriever Sconset took a shit on the G650ER on the way to the Yellowstone Club, just like the Greenwich family's Labradoodle took a piss on the carpet on the Citation flying to Sun Valley, Idaho. You know, like, it's all the same shit. Both families on opposite sides of the country are paying to have the fucking carpets of the plane shampooed. It's just, what kind of dog took the shit? Or what school is the kid going to? You know, so it's all this plug and play. So people are like, how do you know? And it's the same attitude. It's the same tenor, mood. You just got to know, like, what are the cars these people are driving in the different towns? What are the rest? I mean, every fucking dad in Greenwich right now has a Rivian on back order. That's just like a fact. You meet any dad who works in Wall Street who lives up in Fairfield County, he's got a Rivian on back order, and he's fucking pissed about it. So, you know, you just got to plug in and ask some questions and then take some notes.
That is the strongest ending I could have ever imagined for this podcast. Hey, this is Walk Sauce 42 _. What a treat this has been.
Let's go.
Truly.
boys.
Thank you. You ripped.
Thank you.
Anything we want to plug as we head out here?
We're just getting warmed up.
Year one.
This is just the beginning.
Year 0 is over.
We're gonna get our colleague over here at the north end of the table a hot meal and send him on his way. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thanks,
Good
boys.
man. Bye.
Oh, man, that was a treat to revisit. That is our conversation with Walker Ward, who somehow managed to turn getting fired over a cocaine-fueled Tommy Bahama client dinner into one of the best things that has ever happened to him. If you enjoyed this episode, you could find Walker on Instagram at walksauce42 _. The underscore matters. A very special thanks to my homeless friend, Jeremy Sisto, my comedy buddy, my brother. Thank you for being there, for pushing that, for making that happen. Wouldn't have happened without you, big boy. I really do appreciate it. And thank you to Fran Serratore for discovering the talent that is Walker Ward. I wish both of you extraordinary success. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and comment. Show us some love. Like, subscribe, share with people that are fans of Walker or you think would be fans of Walker. I hope you will. I hope to show this episode and get it into as many eardrums as possible. So whatever help you can, I would very, very much appreciate it. Also, if you think that I should be interviewing anybody, this happened because someone reached out and said, I think you two should talk. If that tickles you too, please do not hesitate. Do not. I would love it. The serendipity wheel is turning, and I want more. I'm addicted to it. I love me some serendipity. So I thank you in advance. I hope everyone has an incredible week full of love and adventure, and venery and hugs, kisses, all the good things in life. And I'll see you next week. Bye.